She posted on social media, "Ugh, why do men always think they own you?" Right after I asked her not to go on a weekend trip with her ex. I didn't comment, just changed my relationship status to single. She called me 23 times that night, but I was already on a date. So, I'm a 28-year-old guy, and I've always thought I was pretty good at avoiding drama. My job is basically professional problem solving, so I like things to be logical and straightforward. For 2 years, I was with my girlfriend, and for the most part, it was good, but there was always one thing that never sat right with me: her ex-boyfriend. They were together for 5 years, and after they broke up, they stayed best friends. I really, genuinely tried to be the cool, secure boyfriend about it. I told myself I trusted her, and her past was none of my business. But my gut feeling about this guy never went away. He was one of those perpetually finding himself types, funded by his parents, who thought having a regular job like mine was a sign of a crushed soul. He was always lurking in the background of our relationship. About a month ago, that background noise became a full-blown siren. My girlfriend sat me down, looking all serious, and said, "So, my ex invited me to his family's cabin in the mountains for the weekend. Just the two of us. To reconnect as friends and just get away from the city." She said it so casually, like she was asking me if I wanted pizza. I just stared at her, waiting for the punchline. A weekend, alone in a cabin with a guy she was with for 5 years. I kept my voice as level as I could and said, "I'm not okay with that." Her whole demeanor changed instantly. The friendly, casual vibe was gone. "What do you mean you're not okay with it?" she snapped. "I'm not asking for your permission. I'm telling you my plans." I took a deep breath, trying to keep this from exploding. "I know you're not asking for permission, and I'm not forbidding you. I'm telling you, as my partner, that you go away for a weekend alone with your ex-boyfriend is a hard boundary for me. It makes me extremely uncomfortable, and honestly, I think it's disrespectful to our relationship." It was like I'd flipped a switch. Suddenly, I was controlling. I was insecure. I clearly didn't trust her. She hit me with the classic, "If you really trusted me, this wouldn't even be an issue." I stood my ground. This has nothing to do with trust, and everything to do with respect. There are a million ways to be friends with an ex that don't involve a romantic weekend getaway scenario. Go for lunch, grab coffee, but a secluded cabin for 2 nights? No, I'm just asking you to respect my feelings on this. She just scoffed, told me I was being ridiculous, and then stormed out of my apartment. I spent the next couple of hours stewing, wondering if I had overreacted. Then, while scrolling on my phone, I saw it. She had posted a new picture. The caption read, "Ugh, why do men always think they own you just because you're dating? Some people need to realize a relationship isn't a cage. Hashtag controlling vibes, hashtag my life, my rules, hashtag let me breathe." It was a gut punch. She had taken our private argument and broadcasted it to her entire social circle, painting me as a villain to get likes and validation. Her friends were all over the comments, gassing her up. "So true. Dump him. And you don't need that kind of toxic energy." I felt this weird calm wash over me. There was nothing left to fight for. She'd made her choice. She chose her image, her ex, and her online audience over me. So I didn't comment. I didn't call her. I just went to my profile, clicked edit, and changed my relationship status to single. Then I put my phone on silent. I suddenly had a whole weekend free. I remembered a friend of mine had been wanting to set me up with his cousin for ages. On an impulse, I called him. "Hey, long shot, but is your cousin free to grab a drink tonight?" He was surprised to hear from me, but made the call. An hour later, I was sitting across from this woman. She was a lawyer. She was smart, and the conversation was just easy. It was the most normal, refreshing interaction I'd had in a long time. When I got home late that night, I glanced at my phone. It was a war zone. 23 missed calls from my ex. 100 texts ranging from confused, "Did you change your status?" to furious, "You are so immature. Change it back now." To pure panic, "Please call me. I'm so sorry. We can talk this out." I read them, felt nothing, and deleted the entire thread. The next morning, she was at my door, just as I knew she would be. The second I opened it, she flew into a rage. You humiliated me. All of my friends are asking what happened. How could you just end our relationship on social media without even talking to me? I just leaned against the doorframe. I didn't end our relationship on social media. You did. You ended it when you decided to air our private business and label me as a controlling jerk to all your friends. I just made it official. She started pacing my living room, alternating between yelling and crying. It was just a post. I was upset. You're throwing away 2 years because you're too sensitive. In the middle of her ranting, she tried to justify why the trip was so important. It wasn't even about him, she wailed. It was about the memories. His parents are selling the cabin, and I just wanted one last weekend there before it was gone forever. That line snagged my attention. It sounded fake. I held up a hand. Wait, they're selling the cabin? What's the address? She looked baffled. Why does that matter? Just tell me the address. I insisted. Annoyed, she told me. I nodded. Okay, I'll be right back. I walked into my bedroom, closed the door, and called my dad. He's been in real estate in that area for 30 years. Hey, Dad, quick question. Can you look up a property for me? I gave him the address. I heard him typing. After a moment, he said, That's weird. Son, I know that property. The owners are friends of mine. They're definitely not selling. My blood ran cold. Are you sure? Positive. In fact, they just rented it out. Signed a 6-month lease 2 days ago. They were happy to get a long-term tenant. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Dad, I said slowly, who is a new tenant? I heard more typing. Let's see. The lease is under the name of your ex-girlfriend's ex-boyfriend. I hung up the phone. It all made sense. The desperation. The lies. It wasn't one last trip. It was the first of many. I walked back into the living room, where she was now sitting on the couch, looking like the victim. I stood in front of her. So, the cabin's being sold, huh? Must be really sad to lose a place with so many memories. She nodded, tried to look mournful. It is... I let out a short, sharp laugh. That must be why the owners decided to rent it out for 6 months instead. To your ex. The color vanished from her face. She looked like a ghost. I just spoke with a real estate agent for that area. I said, my voice ice. My father, he knows the owners. He told me all about the new lease agreement. This wasn't a goodbye trip, was it? This was a housewarming. You were going to help him move in, weren't you? Play house for the weekend in the home you were planning to share, while I was supposed to sit here feeling like a controlling piece of trash for having a problem with it. She just stared at me, her mouth opening and closing with no sound coming out. She was caught, completely and totally caught. And then she just crumbled, admitting everything through sobs. He'd been telling her for months he wanted her back, that she was the one. She wanted to see if it could work, but she didn't want to break up with me until she was sure, in case he changed his mind. She wanted me as her safety net, her backup plan. The audacity was incredible. I was going to choose you, she cried. I just needed to be sure. I just looked at her, completely disgusted. No, you weren't, I said. You were going to lie to me for as long as you could. Get your stuff. I want you out. I started pulling her things out of my closet and dumping them in boxes. The begging got more intense, but it was like listening to static. When I was done, I put the boxes by the door and told her to leave. A few days later, her mom called and screamed at me for humiliating her daughter. When she finally stopped for air, I calmly said, Did your daughter tell you she was moving in with another man while still living with me? Click. The line went dead. My new lawyer friend helped me draft a formal notice of abandoned property for the expensive furniture my ex had left behind. We sent it certified mail. Turns out, her dad had co-signed on the credit card she used to buy it. A week later, her father's truck pulled up. He was a proud man, and he looked absolutely mortified. He loaded up all the furniture without saying a single word to me. His jaw clenched the entire time. I can only imagine the conversation he had with her later. It's been a few months. Last I heard, life in the romantic mountain cabin wasn't what she'd hoped. Apparently, her ex is still just finding himself and doesn't contribute much. As for me, I've been seeing the lawyer. It's nice. It's simple. It's honest. I guess some lessons you have to learn the hard way.